All right, guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're working question 6 for June 2019 Mathematics Paper 2. So it says the scale on a map is 1 to 25,000 and it asks us to determine the actual distance in kilometers represented by 0.5 centimeters on the map. So this scale of 1 to 25,000, what it is saying is 1 centimeter measured on the map is equivalent to 25,000 centimeters in real life. So 1 centimeter on the map is equal to 25,000 centimeters in real life. So what we're asked is to find 0.5 centimeters. So therefore 0.5 centimeters is equal to x. So what we're trying to do is to find the value when for x in reality, when on the map we measure 0.5 centimeters. So we can cross multiply, and what in the end we'll be doing is multiplying 0.5 multiplied by 25,000, and all of that is divided by 1. When we put that in our calculator, what we'll get is x being equal to 12,500 centimeters. But what the question asks is to determine the actual distance in kilometers. Now, if you remember your mnemonic, kick him down, man, don't commit murder, then what we know is that moving from centimeters to kilometers will be actually dividing by 10,000. So therefore, x is equal to 12,500, and that is dividing, sorry, not 10,000, we're dividing by 100,000. So it is 12,500 divided by 100,000. And when we do that, x is therefore, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, x is equal to 0.125 kilometers. And that is our answer for part 1A. So the actual distance in kilometers represented by 0.5 centimeters on the map is 0.125 kilometers. Part 2 now says, calculate the actual distance in kilometers square represented by 2.25 centimeters square on the map. So what we know is that from above is that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 over 100,000 kilometers. So that is what we know. So therefore, if we have the 25,000 centimeters that was given in the question, we want to know how much is that in kilometers, and that will be our x that we're trying to find. So now cross multiplying and solving for x, x is equal to 25,000 multiplied by the fraction of 1 over 100,000. So therefore, what we will get is x is equal to 25,000 divided by 100,000. And therefore, x is equal to 0.25 kilometers. So basically, from our question where we have this right here of 1 to 25,000, this is the 25,000 that we converted to kilometers. So it is x is equal to 0.25 kilometers, which is the same as the 25,000 centimeters that was given for reality on which was measured on the map. So therefore, what we know is that we have 1 centimeter is equal to 0.25 kilometers on the map. So the 1 centimeter, it is the same as 0.25 kilometers on the map, because remember it is the 25,000 that we converted to kilometers. So 1 centimeter is the same as 0.25 kilometers, but in reality if we square both sides where we have 1 centimeter squared is equal to 0.25 kilometers squared, what we'll have is 1 centimeter square is equal to, when we square 0.25, what we'll get is 0.0625 kilometers square. And what the question have is calculate the area in kilometers square represented by 2.25 centimeters square on the map. So therefore, if 1 centimeter square is equal to 0.0625 kilometers square, then 2.25 centimeters square is equal to x, which is what we are trying to find. So therefore, x is equal to 2.25 multiplied, so we're cross multiplying here, 2.25 multiplied by the 0.0625 kilometers square, and all of that is divided by 1 centimeters square. So now when you put that in your calculator, what you'll get is, so 0.0625 multiplied by 2.25 will get 0.14065 kilometers square. And this is our answer. So just to put some bit of annotation and go over. So what we're doing first here was to convert the original scale that was given in the question. So we converted the scale, which was 1 centimeter to 25,000 centimeter in reality. So what we did was to convert what would be 1 centimeter and this being in kilometers. So that is what we did right here. So we did 1 centimeter is equal to 1 over 100,000 kilometers, or 0.000001 kilometers. And we have the 25,000 centimeters. So we're trying to find what is that in kilometers. So we found that to be 0.25 kilometers. So 25,000 centimeters is the same as 0.25 kilometers, which is what we have here. So now what we're saying is, if we square both sides, as now we're trying to calculate the area in kilometers square. So what we did was to square both sides of the expression. So we did 1 centimeter square and we squared 0.25 kilometers. And when we do that, 1 square is 1, the centimeter is squared, 0.25 square gives us 0.0625, and we have the kilometers square. And basically, what we're now doing is finding then, what the question asks us is, what is the actual area represented by 2.25 centimeters square on the map. So now we have 2.25 centimeters square. What is it represented in kilometers? So this is what we cross multiplied here. So we cross multiply to solve for x kilometers square based on the question. So we're trying to find what is the equivalent amount for 2.25 centimeters square, and that is how we got x is equal to 2.25 multiplied by 0.0625 divided by 1, and we got x to be 0.14065 kilometers square. And that is our answer. Part B now says the diagram below not drawn to scale shows the cross section of two cylindrical jars, jar X and jar Y. The diameters of jar X and jar Y are 3D and D respectively, which is measured in centimeters. It says initially jar Y is empty and jar X contains water to a height of 4 centimeters. Determine in terms of pi and D, which is diameter, the volume of water in jar X. So in our final answer, we'll still have these terms being expressed, the pi and the diameter. So what we know is that volume of a cylinder is equal to, usually the general formula is area times height. The area is the area of the cross section, which in this case would be the cross section is a circle. So area of a circle is pi r square. So it is pi r square and it has been multiplied by our height. So we are calculating the volume. So therefore volume is equal to, we still have our pi, or radius, we know that radius is diameter divided by 2, so they didn't give us a radius, but what we know is that the radius would be 3D divided by 2, so it would be 3D divided by 2, and this would give us our radius, and this is squared being multiplied by our height, and the height that they gave is 4 centimeters. So this is the height right here, 4 centimeters. So remember, radius is half of our diameter. The diameter that they gave is 3D for jar X, and that is why we did 3D divided by 2. So therefore, working out the bracket, we know that volume is equal to pi multiply three square will give us 9. 3 square will give us 9, and the D square will be D squared, and all of that is divided by 2 square will give us 4. So it is D square over 4 multiplied by 4. What we see is that we can go ahead and cancel out this 4 here with this 4 here, and what we'll be left with is a volume is equal to pi multiplied by D squared. And we can just rewrite that to say volume is equal to D multiplied by pi D squared. And this is our answer, and it says we are writing it in terms of pi and D, and that is why those two terms are still in our final answer, and we did not convert the value for pi to be 22/7 or 3.142. So this is our answer. The volume of water in jar X is 9 pi D squared, and our unit centimeter square. Sorry, centimeter cube. Centimeter cube, as volume is measured cubic meters. So it is 9 pi D squared centimeter cube. Part 2 now says, if all the water from jar X is poured into jar Y, calculate the height it will reach. So all the water in jar X, so jar X is poured now into jar y. So what we can agree is that the volume of jar x is now equal to the volume in jar y, because it is the same water that is poured from jar x into jar y, so the volume will remain the same. So therefore volume in jar y is equal to what we calculated up above, which was 9 pi d square. So 9 pi d square. And this is the volume in jar y. So therefore, remember our formula is volume is equal to pi r square multiplied by the height. The volume which we just got is 9 pi d square is equal to pi r square multiplied by the height, which is what the question asks us to find. So now the radius for jar y, if you remember, looking back at it, the radius for jar y, it said was d, which was just a diameter. So not the radius for jar y, the distance across for jar y is d. So therefore, to find the radius, it would be half of that diameter, which should be d divided by 2. So therefore, 9 pi d square is equal to pi. Now the diameter is d divided by 2, and all of that is squared multiplied by h. Now working out our bracket, it would be 9 pi d square is equal to pi d square is d square, and that is divided by 2 square, which works out to be 4. So let us put a multiplication sign here. So it will be pi multiplied by d square is that, and we say 2 square is 4. So what we have is d squared divided by 4 multiplied by h. And now what we're going to do is try and solve for h. What we realize is that if we take this pi from here, the right hand side, and put it across the left hand side, it will cancel out with the pi on the left. So that will leave us with d square is equal to the d square divided by 4, and that is multiplied by h. So now if we are moving, let's say the d square from here, it was up top here. So when it comes across, it too will be dividing as it was multiplying here. So when it comes across, it will be dividing. So what we'll have remaining is 9 is equal to a quarter multiplied by h. And you could have even moved the 4 from before and we would have gotten the answer. So when we now move the quarter to the right hand side, what we'll have is 9 multiplied by 4 is equal to h. And when you do that working, you'll get 36 is equal to h. And that is our answer. So our height for jar y is 36 centimeters. And that is our answer. So thank you for watching and stay tuned for question 7.